That made a huge difference.
After Phil left, we went to
Okay, ZBA. We are live. We are recording. Phone lines are open. Go for it.
Thank you, Matt, and welcome everyone to the Town of East Hampton Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for July 25th, 2023. We have three scheduled public hearings this evening, and I'll read the first one into the record. The first applicant is Frank Mesh at 303 Two Holes of Water Road, East Hampton, Suffolk Tax Map number 300-157-1-3.5. And the size and location is 143,406 square feet at 303 Two Holes Water Road, East Hampton. The description is to allow existing pool equipment and approximately 130 square foot of pool decking to remain within side yard setbacks of the northern property line. The relief sought is variances of 24.5 feet and 13 feet from 255-1110 side yard setbacks are required to allow existing pool equipment 25.5 feet and pool decking 37 feet from northern side yard lot line where 50 feet is required and any other relief necessary from the East Hampton Town Code. The zoning district is AE residence, Zone X flood zone, and the secret class is type 2. And council, do we have proper affidavit of service and posting? Thank you. So this is in my category, so I did the report, and the first photo is a photo of the posting. It was properly posted. This is a common drive walking into the property. So this is a look from Two Holes of Water looking into the property. I'm going to walk down the common drive now, Tyler. Walking in, we see the entrance to the residence. This is the driveway now coming from the common driveway looking in. I think the TAM says that didn't believe the pickleball court was constructed yet. There is a permit for it, but it does look like it is constructed at this point. Just wanted to point that out. This is the house before us as I'm walking up that driveway. This is the, let me just get my bearing straight here. Southerly property line as I'm walking up. Closer look at the pickleball court. There's the front entrance of the driveway. I'm going to walk around the southerly portion of this house, show that property line, and then walk around the house. So this is a southerly property line walking into the backyard. Looking at the southern pool enclosure fence, it's quite a remarkable lot. It's drops off after this pool patio drastically. It's quite wooded area and quite beautiful. You can see the pool in the background. Next. Scanning over, you see the pool. It's the variance request is at the far end of this photo. We'll have closer pictures of it. Next. Looking back at the house. Next. Again, looking back at the house toward the northerly property line. This is the east side of the pool decking looking into the woods, and again, it drops down. This is the north property line now. You can see that, okay, just looking down the property, go next, we'll get a closer. This is the pool equipment that's being requested for a variance this evening. Next. And the little area, the gate there, that's the pool, part of the pool patio. I don't know, that might be it, Tyler, right?
That's it.
Yep, that's it. Thank you. We have the applicant or agent, John.
Hi, John Tarbett. Excuse me. Hi, John Tarbett for the applicant. So this is on the face of this, they look like pretty large variances. because the required setback is 50 feet. The lot's super large. So as you know, like tiny lots of 40,000 or 20,000 square feet or less have a 10-foot setback that's then doubled to 20. This has a 25-foot accessory setback that's doubled to 50. So there are large setbacks. A lot is somewhat narrow. It's for the size of the lot, it's 3.5 acres, but it's only 190 feet wide, at least in the back there, and probably wider in the front. The owner was horrified to find out that once everything was built, as you can see, it's pretty nice to find out that it didn't meet setbacks.
Property.
It's an expensive patio, and obviously moving pool equipment's expensive, but more than just the expense is that when you go there, you see the incredible drop off. So there's no logical place to even put the pool equipment. So he came to us, and I looked at it and said, well, those are pretty large variances. What do we have going for us? One thing we have going for us is that we are able to offer the town that 1 acre easement. Part of our argument is, hey, look, we don't really have anywhere else to put the pool equipment. And as proof of that concept, we're like, we will put a permanent scenic easement over the acre in the back behind the pool. It's a water recharge overlay district. So that's a great, there's already a half acre easement in the front. So between the 40 and the 25, you'll have acre and a half of easement on the property. And I think that's just more of ours also trying to say, look, we're not just making it up. There's no other logical location. There really was not a logical location to put the, if you wanted to, he's got 3.5 acre property. If you wanted that nice patio, to build it into that steep drop was going to be super difficult. Not that he did it on purpose. He was truly horrified to find out that after he spent all his money, he may not get a variance and have to rip it all out. The other thing we have going for us is that we have, as you see on the survey there's that reserved area. So luckily, he doesn't have a neighbor anywhere near him. Not that you don't want to have a setback from a reserved area, but it is a heavily wooded reserved area. And then the nearest houses are 200 feet away from that through the woods. So
What's the width of that reserve area,
40
feet.
Somewhere between 200 and 240 feet away is the nearest neighbor's improvements. I think it's, improvements, not property line. It's 40 foot wide. And then I measured their pool to our pool equipment. It's about 200 and something feet. There's probably arguably no impact to the neighbors. No neighbors, even though we noticed them, expressed any opposition to it. And we're just throwing ourselves at the mercy of the board and hoping that the mitigation we offer is enough to get the variance.
Do anybody have any questions?
I don't.
Questions?
No, I'm fine.
Thank you, John.
Okay, thank you.
Tyler?
Good evening, Tyler Borsak for the Planning Department.
Tyler, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
So Mr. Sharp did a good job of explaining what the application is. There's a 50-foot side yard setback required for this lot, given the size. It's over 3 acres. Normally a 25-foot setback, which is then doubled for swimming pools and associated structures. Just for some background history, the patio was reconstructed as per a 2021 building permit. There was a CO issued earlier in 2021. The patio at that point in time was conforming. It was constructed slightly larger than what was on the building plans. Other than that, there's not much else. Obviously, the mitigation is the very large scenic easement. They are fairly, somewhat close to the maximum clearing. So they certainly wouldn't be able to clear a significant amount of the back of that lot, but it's certainly a benefit as well. I don't want to discredit the value that has. But as far as a side yard setback and mitigation for that, that's for the board to determine if that's sufficient. Other than that, the reserved area to the north is certainly a unique circumstance that if the board approves it should be noted in the determination. And other than that, I can answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, the scenic easement that's to the west, does that exist already?
Yes. I
Okay,
believe it's part of
that's
the
an existing scenic
subdivision,
easement, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? No.
No.
No. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you.
Don't look like anybody in the public here. Matt, is there anybody on the phone?
You have 0 callers. Thank you.
All right, thank you. With that, I would like to make a motion in the application of Frank Mesh at 303 Tools Water Road in East Hampton, Suffolk, tax map number 300-157-1-3.5 to close the public hearing in the public record.
I'll second it.
Concur.
Thank you.
Okay, get my act together.
So next we have Robert Katz at 69 Isle of Wight Road in Springs, Suffolk tax map number 300-23-2-28. The size and location is 26,272 square feet at 69 Isle of Wight Road, Lionhead Beach, map number 3451 in Springs. The description is to allow an 8 square foot generator to remain within southern side yards setbacks and a 64 square foot deck addition and a 70 square foot deck to remain on a parcel within 150 feet of tidal wetlands. The relief sought is a natural resources special permit pursuant to 255-420. And one variance of 1.3 feet from 255-1110 side yard setbacks are required to allow an existing generator to remain 8.7 feet from the southern side yard lot line where 10 feet is required, and any other relief necessary from East Hampton Town Code. The zoning district is B residence, Zone X flood zone, and AE 6 flood zone, and the secret class is type 2. Council, do we have a proper affidavit of service? You do. Thank you. Denise, I think this is
Yes,
yours,
this is
right?
fine. And as this photo illustrates, the property was properly posted. I'm actually standing on Isle of Wight Road, looking down. This is a very steep driveway, gravel driveway. The survey does indicate that at the bottom of this driveway, there is a drain because it's steep. It's pretty excessive in terms of its steepness. Next, and this of course is the house, and this is a shot of the garage, which is on the southern side of the property. Next, please. This is the front of the house. Next, please. Just wanted to give you an idea of the vegetation. It's actually a very lovely site. And this is my car pulling down. It's again, showing you the gravel driveway, and it is a very steep driveway. Next, please. These are the steps on the northern side, which were actually approved in a previous application, that are leading down to the backyard. And again, illustrating the revegetation that's bountiful on this whole site. It's actually a very pretty property. Next, please. This is approaching the swimming pool. Next, please. This is again the revegetation on the northern side of the property, which is actually where, oh no, wait, I lost my bearings. This is on the southern side of the property where, next couple of photos, you'll see where the generator is located. Next, please. This is just another shot of the pool and the stone patio that is all around it. Next, please. This is just a picture of the, I'm on the eastern side. I'm actually standing in, behind me is Hog Creek, and I just wanted to give you a sense of the property. Next, please. This is on the northern side of the property, again, showing you how heavily vegetated this property is, which is good to see because this is a harbor protection overlay district. Next, please. This is the deck in the back. Next, please. I'll have a better visual. This is the northern side, and you can see there's a second, like a balcony deck. And on to the north, on that whole walkway down is all stone. Next, please. This is again that same area on the northern side, stone patio, and then gravel to the right. Next, please. This is a shot. This is obviously a shot of Hog Creek. Again, I'm just right. Hog Creek is right behind. Again, it's an example of how well vegetated this property is. Next, please. This is the generator and pool equipment, which is on the southern side of the property. Next, please. This is just the enclosure for the generator and pool equipment. This is, again, steps leading up to the deck in question. Next, please. And again, this is me standing on the deck, looking out toward the backyard, toward Hog Creek. Thanks. I'm just really giving you an example of the revegetation that's abundant. Thought I had another picture of the deck, though. Next, this is the rear deck in the backyard, and I tried to have it extend. The part at the end is what we're here for tonight. Next, please. This was a shed I found on the southern side. I saw some stone patio, little stone steps, and I followed the path wondering where it would lead to, and it led to this shed, but maybe it can be addressed because I don't see it on the survey. And but it sort of is in close proximity to the generator, and if it is requiring notice, we could put it under the and any other relief necessary in terms of our public notice, so we would be still properly noticed, but maybe the agent can address that shed because I don't see it on the survey. I think that might be it, Tyler. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Joel, how are you?
Good evening.
Joel, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman Delaney and board members. Joel Halsey on behalf of Lighthouse Land Planning, representing the property owner Robin Katz. I'll start out with the shed. You did a little more sleuthing than I did on that one. I didn't bother to look for that. As you can see, the property is well vegetated, and the pool equipment itself is pretty well hidden in the vegetation. So I don't remember exactly where the shed was.
You're at the bottom of the driveway.
The bottom of the driveway, okay.
It's adjacent to where the garage is, and the only reason I went back there was because there were little stone steps that I could go over, and it led to the shed.
I don't know if Tyler could
No,
bring the shed.
it's in the
shed
same
picture up real quick.
situation as the
I'd love
generator.
to see it one time.
The trash.
But the generator is not near the driveway. No, wait.
No, it is. It's on
I'm just
that same side.
You know, if the shed,
No, it's right here. The generator is here.
Right. Joel, it's a
But
trash bin.
this is where
What's
the
that?
garage
Trash
is.
bin.
oh, yes, I believe that's what that is.
Oh, is that
It's
what that
probably a
is?
trash enclosure, yeah.
And provided it meets, the proper setbacks and it's 6 by 6 by 6, it wouldn't have required a building permit.
Okay.
So, but we could address, yeah.
Got my
That's as far
curiosity.
as I can address that one. The property before the board tonight requires a minor 1.3-foot variance to allow the generator to remain 8.7 feet from the side yard property line. This is an 8-square-foot structure that was built in what was thought at the time the most appropriate location. The area is near the existing pool equipment within a cleared area and inside the pool equipment enclosure. And as you can see by looking at the survey, the clearing line of the property is very tight, and there does not appear to be a better location for this generator. The generator was also located within proximity to the underground propane tank, which you can see the LP ring just east of the pool equipment and the generator. With regards to the deck, they do not require any variances, and these structures were two very modest additions to the existing structure. As can be seen by the most recent 2016 CO, there was a small notch on the north side of the deck. This was just squared off, and just west of the deck, a stone patio was added to enhance the egress from the house. A majority of the stone patio is more than 150 feet from the wetlands. You can see the 150-foot setback on the survey. The structures that exist pose no threat to the environment, did not require any clearing for their construction. The generator in its current location is well screened from the neighboring properties and should have no detriment to them in the slightest. All the structures have been noticed and as required, and as of today, nothing has been submitted to the file in opposition. As can be viewed upon inspection of this property, the generator is engulfed in vegetation and cannot be seen from the outside of the enclosure from any angle. The enclosure is vegetated and screened on 3 of the 4 sides, and you can see the screening between the generator and the neighboring property. You wouldn't even be able to see the neighboring property when you're standing next to the generator because of the screening. The enclosure is vegetated and screened on 3 of the 4 sides, and the 4th side has a good buffer of low vegetation that helps screen this side. It's almost like the structure's not there. Beyond that, thank you for taking your time and reviewing the application. We do believe this project meets the variance standards as listed in my memo submitted to the file last week. If the board has any questions, I'm
I
happy to
have
answer.
one.
Sure.
It's about the clearing. The allowable clearing by code is 10,000 and the existing clearing is 13,000?
I believe that was pre-existing non-conforming. In a previous ZBA application, they had to revegetate to this amount. The CO, and let me just double check. 2016.
I think this CO.
This clearing in 2016 was the most recent CO. That clearing was at 13,250 square feet. So the clearing has gone down since, obviously, actually, well, it's just,
It hasn't,
the
it
same.
doesn't appear, right.
what's that?
Looks the same.
It
You
looks
said
the same.
13,130.
I guess it's 13, and it's 100 square feet, 13,215, 250, and now it's 13,130.
Any way to mitigate this, have it be better?
There's really not much.
I mean, it is a harbor protection overlay
Harbor
district. I
protection
mean,
overlay district. I mean,
and it is a steep property. I mean,
the properties, I mean, it is
Oh,
well vegetated between the structure. I mean, there's really not much area to revegetate. There is some, lawn just to the side of the, I'd have to run it by the property owner. But again, there's no real nexus between a revegetation of this property and what we're asking here.
yeah.
The generator, it's next to existing pool equipment. It's 8 square feet.
It's just my concern because it's a harbor protection.
I understand.
overlay.
I understand.
And
I
it's
mean,
not a flat property. It's,
Yeah.
the runoff,
I mean, I wish there was more area between
it's a
the
steep property.
pool and the, maybe we could, I could talk to the property owner. Maybe they'd be willing to, come up, along the pool, where do you see the DEC 10-foot jurisdiction line?
Yeah,
Maybe we could add some, I'll talk to the property owner and
do that,
see.
please?
Yeah. I
I'd
would do that.
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
that 10-foot
The
jurisdiction.
10-foot jurisdiction, that probably adds, 250, I'm guessing, just looking
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
250 square feet of
I would
revegetation.
appreciate that, Joe.
Okay, I'll run that by the property owner. And if you could leave the record open for a week, I can have an answer for you before, by next
To
week.
mitigate clearing calculations, okay.
Thank you.
Joe, there's a house next door on the generator side?
Excuse me?
There was a house next door on the generator side?
If Tyler could probably pull up the aerial. Actually, the house is,
The house is,
much seaward of the, or Hog Creek word of the,
70 feet maybe.
so it's about 70 feet, yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions?
No.
No.
Thank you, Joel.
Thank you.
Tyler?
Tyler Borsak for the planning department again. I don't have much else to add. This is a pretty straightforward application. I will note the 2018 ZBA determination that was mentioned did require that the pre-existing non-conforming clearing come down to 13,250, which it's slightly under that now. And that application was much more involved. There was more, lot coverage being redone at that point in time. I don't think the planning department was comfortable, with additional revegetation at this time, given the limited amount of work that was being proposed. I think if they were in for more significant amount of work, reconstructing the pool or a new residence or something like that, then I think we'd be looking to make it more conforming. But in this case, I don't think there was a strong nexus to require additional revegetation. But other than that, it's a fairly straightforward side yard setback variance and a minor natural resource special permit. And for that, as far as the shed or the bin, really, it seems like it might be out of jurisdiction if it's up by the.
It's right
the
across from the
driveway.
garage.
Yeah, if it's across from the garage and
Bottom
up
of the
near the
gravel
driveway, it's definitely out of jurisdiction.
Okay.
So I think that wouldn't be really a concern. Other than that, I can answer any questions.
Any questions for Tyler?
No.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you.
Anybody in the public would like to address this application? Matt, anybody on the phone?
You have 0 calls on the line. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what, leave it open, are you, a
Leave
week?
it open for a week.
Okay. You want to make a motion to close?
Yeah, that's
Or to leave it open? In the matter of the application of Robin Katz, 69 Olive White Road in Springs. I make a motion that the public hearing be closed, but the record be left open to see if the, any additional revegetation can be submitted, because this is in an HPOD district
For 1 week.
for 1 week.
I'll second it. Okay.
I concur.
I concur. Thank you, Joel. So next we have Daniel Colaswano at 10 Hampton Place, East Hampton. Suffolk Tax Map number 300-170-1-26.1. The size and location is 10,000 square feet at 10 Hampton Place, Hollow Oaks, Hampton Heights, map number 807, East Hampton. The district's description is to construct a 392 square foot swimming pool with pool equipment on a parcel within northern, southern side yard setbacks. The variances of 1.8 feet and 5.7 feet and 10 feet are required for the construction of the swimming pool, 18.2 feet from the northern side yard lot line and 14.3 feet from the southern side yard lot line where 20 feet is required, and to place the pool equipment 10 feet from the southern side yard lot line where 20 feet is required, and any other relief necessary from East Hampton Town Code. The zoning district is a residence zone X flood zone, and the secret class is type 2. And council, do we have proper affidavit and service and posting?
You do.
Thank you. Again, this is in my territory. Just give me a second. All right, so the property was properly posted. This is a house, looks under either renovated or new construction. And this is the driveway looking up. And Tyler, next. This is the house across the street. Just wanted to turn around and show you what the neighborhood's like. So this is the southerly side yard, going back towards the house. I'm gonna walk back there now. That's the shed in the background. This is the porch, looking out to the backyard. And the next photo, this is where the pool's gonna be going. Then Tyler, next, standing back at that shed, looking back at the house, you can see it's a very narrow lot. Next. Just want to show you the conditions of the side yard with the fence. The screening on the other property, just wanted to point that out. And then I swing over to look at the other side yard property, and the same condition occurs there. There's a fence and then property line. So that's it.
Is that the gazebo that's there already, where it says, in the survey, proposed gazebo?
Should exist.
No,
Is
yes,
that it?
yes,
Yeah,
that's the gazebo.
That's already there, okay.
Yeah, that's her. The applicant, is this you, John?
Hi, John Tarbett for the applicant. The applicant is here tonight as well. If you have any questions for him. So it is a very narrow lot. It's 50 feet. Minimum lot width in today's code would be 115 feet. So it's one of those out parcels probably created 100 and something years ago. As you can see, the property would benefit from a pool. It really, as most properties in that area or in East Hampton town, would benefit from a pool. The neighborhood has pools customarily, and the applicant would really like a pool. So what we did is to try to come up with an application that would most appease the board. And one of the things we did is we got all the neighbors to support the application. So there's letters from the 3 affected neighbors in the file supporting the application. The other thing we did is to take the pool equipment, which is a big noisemaker with pools, and put it in that shed, which was proposed at the time. It's now been built. So the pool equipment would be in the shed and presumably not heard, although it does require a variance to go in the shed. And directly behind that shed is a driveway actually going to Benny Soshi's house, who's a client and friend. So he wrote a letter in support, but between it being in the shed and being his driveway, there's presumably no negative impact to that property. The properties are relatively close to 27, so there's some background noise from 27 there. The pool itself wouldn't normally cause any noise. I think some noise associated with pools is the decking around the pool, so we proposed no decking directly around the pool, so that any noise for people who would be otherwise sitting around the pool would be kept on the gazebo. We also are more than happy to, the properties are pretty well vegetated, but we'd be more than happy to condition any approval on whatever vegetation the board deems necessary. Other than that, there's not much we could really do, other than it's less than a 400 square foot pool, where a typical pool out here would be probably 800 square feet or bigger. So it's 394 square feet, I think. So it's a pretty small pool, which is appropriate for a small lot. It shouldn't be a bigger pool. And, it's aligned with the gazebo and aesthetically pleasing to the property, with no opposition and actually support from the neighbors. For at least from the northern property line, it's a very small variance, and from the southern property line, it's a relatively small variance.
What's between the property and Montauk Highway is drawn there? Is there another building lot in there? Is there a house there?
So you see,
There is a house.
There's a house.
lot. I was trying to determine if that lot had merged. It's 11,000. Those two properties are in the same name, and that Tyler, can you re-highlight that? That one. That's an 11,000 square foot lot, so it's smaller than zoning would allow, and it's in the exact same name as the house next to it. So I don't want to say they definitely merged, but they could have merged. So it's just an open wooded lot right now, and that person did write a letter in support, which is different than not opposing, right? They actually supported the application. They said they see no issue and don't expect there to be any detriment to their property from the variances. I think if a neighbor had, I don't think an application like this is probably very appropriate without actually having letters of support from the neighbors. And so we did the best we could by getting their support.
The house looks relatively new. What kind of sanitary system is there?
Has a new.
Tell me, like, technically, if it's one.
You tell him and he can.
Or you
tell
can
us.
get the answer for him.
Yeah,
It is an IA septic system.
it is an IA?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's located in the front yard. Danny has, as you can see, done a fair amount of work to the property. You can see that in the picture, it's a driveway, the gazebo and the shed have been built more recently.
So in the TAM, it does suggest that we might be asking the applicant to add some screening to protect this. And if you can refresh my memory from the photos that the chair took, is there existing screening either side of the pool now,
No.
north and south?
Not on the applicant's side of the property line.
Yeah, no, we're willing to, maybe Danny can speak to that, but I don't know what would be appropriate. Maybe 6 foot arborvitae, or do you have an idea what you're putting there?
Our intent was to put a skip laurel or something of that nature to screen the noise from 27 from all 3 sides of the yard.
Okay, so the applicant was saying that his intent, in order to partially help for the noise from 27, was to revegetate for sure the southerly side of the property. Skip laurel was suggested by him. we'd be open to any suggestions the board had. The neighbors actually didn't ask for it, but we'd be more than happy to put, he's planning on doing it anyway.
The other question that was raised in the town was that the structures you built for for housing the pool equipment not be converted into a pool house. And this is in step one, and pool equipment comes out and a pool house tries to go into a 240 square foot building.
Well, that would be an illegal pool house then.
The town is a 200 square foot limit to pool houses, and the shed is 240 square feet, so it cannot be legally converted to a pool house.
Yeah, so
And also by removing the pool equipment, we'd be putting our 1 foot in hot water by having it illegal.
John says the gazebo.
Right. Yeah, the gazebo is meant to be an open pool house.
That,
Repeating it.
would you say that? Put it in the record.
Yeah,
The gazebo was meant to be
The
what?
gazebo is gonna act as a pool
Pool
house.
house?
Beautiful gazebo, beautiful property. Well,
Yeah, nicely laid out, nicely done.
And the TAM also suggests it appears that there is currently heavily vegetated screening along the northern property line already existing.
Yeah, there's screening on both properties, but he absolutely intends to, he was telling me tonight, and again, reminding me again tonight that he absolutely intends to screen it. He hadn't chosen what to screen it with or the height, but if the board had, happy to condition any approval on whatever the board deems appropriate.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions?
No.
Thank you, Tyler.
Tyler Borsak for the planning department again. I don't have anything specific to add. I think Mr. Tarpet covered everything pertinent with the application, and the board brought up everything that I would have pointed out in the technical analysis memo. The only thing I would mention is that any unique circumstances be brought up in the determination, just so we can try and differentiate this from any other side yard setback application. Obviously, it's a very non-conforming width lot, so any unique circumstances that the board addresses should be certainly pointed out in the determination. But other than that, I can make myself available for questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Tyler?
No, I
No,
don't
I'm
have
fine.
any.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler.
I would just quickly add, as far as differentiation goes, I wouldn't bring an application without the neighbor support for this for a pool variance. These are noisemakers, playing courts, pools, pool equipment. If you don't have the support of your neighbor, you probably shouldn't be asking for a variance. You should probably redesign your project. So that's at least as far as you won't see me coming here asking for variance for pool or pool equipment without a neighbor support.
Well, it's very unique that it needs a northern side yard and a southern side yard.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't do it without the support of the neighbors.
Thank you. Anybody in the public here? Matt, anybody on the phone?
You have 0 callers. Thank you.
Thank you. Therefore, I'd like to make a motion in the applicant of Daniel Colaswano at 10 Hampton Place, Suffolk tax map number 300-170-1-26.1 to close the public hearing and the record.
I'll second it.
I concur.
I concur.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna then move on to other business in our work session, and we have a post-hearing decision. The applicant is, I'm gonna read it into the record, hold on. The applicant is Michael Frischberg,
We got that. And this is.
at 4 Osborne Farm Lane, Suffolk tax map number 300-197-8-11. The project description is to allow a two-story addition to remain outside the town's pyramid setback and 14.2 feet from the side yard lot line setback where 15 feet is required. One variance of approximately 1 feet pursuant to 255-1172D of the East Hampton Town Code is required to allow a second-story addition to remain outside pyramid law regulations, and one variance of 0.8 feet pursuant to 255-1110 of the Town Code to allow the addition to remain 14.2 feet from the southeastern lot line where 15 feet is required. This application was in my territory, so I'll start it off. So give me a second to gather. They have the various standards available. I'll pull them up. Okay. So this property is located in Wainscott. We have the house, as you see, the addition was on the southern lot line. That southern lot line comes in, there's a little flag lot coming into this property. The addition is a corner of this property that that violates the setback and therefore the pyramid. This is a builder's error. The request, I'm very quickly, I'm going to upfront say that I'll vote to approve this and move. This is, to me, if you look at the property line, it's a skewed property line. So therefore, the part of the setback or variance is a very tiny function of the side of this addition. So it's just a tiny corner of it. And so I'm going to go through the variance standards. I think this is a de minimis request, and I'm just going to quickly go through the variance standards for it. Does the benefit of the applicant from the grant of the area variance outweigh any detriment which grant of the variance will cause the general health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood on the town as a whole? Yes, I do believe that the grant does outweigh any cause any general health, safety, or welfare of the neighborhood. It's a very small variance. It is a builder error, and based on the lot being a skewed lot line relative to the property line, as well as the property line is very well vegetated, screened from the neighboring lot lines. This area variance should be granted the minimum variance necessary and adequate to alleviate the difficulty causing the applicant to request an area variance. And it is the minimum variance necessary. This is an error in the construction, and it's easy to see why with that property line to see what happened, but it is a very de minimis request and understandable. Has the applicant shown that the benefit accruing to him from grant of the requested variance outweighs any harm which will be caused to the neighborhood or the town? And I do say that the applicant did show that, as well as the existence of the very dense screening on the property line. Will the grant of the variance cause an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood, or will it create a detriment to the nearby properties? And no, I'll say no, again, for the same reasons I said below. Can the benefit sought by the applicant be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance? At this point, no, it's already built. Once again, the variance is a small request relative to what is there. Is the requested area variance substantial? No. Will the grant of the variance have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions of the neighborhood? The answer is no. There are no environmental issues, and the physical is again very de minimis. I will say though that we do look at pyramid variances, but the pyramid variance in this case is caused by that property line where it is. It's very small, and as Tyler can say, you can see on that diagram that how tiny this pyramid. It's basically just involves the eaves on the residence. Is there difficulty causing the applicant to request an area variance self-created? Yes, without question. Yes. So therefore, based on the variance standards, I will vote to approve this application. Ed?
Yeah, I'm not going to add an awful lot. I think the chair covered it well. It's in description. I have three points to reinforce. I think it is a small ask, and it was a builder's error. I don't think it's something here, although it is a pyramid variance they're asking for it, as has been pointed out already by the chair. It's quite small. I noticed. I remember that in the hearing, they agreed to covenant the hedge in that area to protect whatever neighbor might be affected in the future. And that was a very significant line of vegetation. I think it was arborvitae at 10 foot tall or more from what I remember of the
more
photo.
substantial than that.
Yeah, more substantial. So anyway, it's very significant. And I also make note that on the neighboring property, the most affected area is the driveway flag lot coming in. So as a natural buffer from the house next door, their driveway is already up against the line that's most affected by the granting of this variance. So without adding anything else, I'm going to agree to approve of this application.
Denise?
I agree with my fellow board members. I agree this is a de minimis request, as already stated, but it's good to put it on the record again. The addition had a builder's error, being constructed 14.2 feet from the property line, which also violated the pyramid law by 1 foot or 0.65 cubic feet. This is depicted on page A-05 of the John P. Laffey plans revised March 16th, 2021. The applicant meets the variance standards of 255-850. It will not create a detriment to nearby properties. The variance is not substantial, and this will not have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions. And what's already been stated is it's very well vegetated and screened from other properties. So for these reasons, I am approving this application in its entirety.
Thank you. Terry?
Well, I agree with everything said. I have one concern. They have 3 other outstanding building permits now to do various projects. And I'm not sure exactly the size that will add to some of this. But the one concern I have is that the clearing that they have today is 14,731 square feet, and the maximum clearing by code is 15,695. But I have no way of determining how much clearing might be done or ultimately done when these other 3 permits are finished. Is there any way we can stipulate something?
That would be outside of our purview, I think.
I think, say that
And
again, Rob?
Even though those,
Outside the purview of the zoning board.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
that would be the purview of the building department to figure that out.
well, with respect to this, but yeah, okay, because they got extensions on those 3 permits.
Okay, it's still, I think it's part of the CO process of the town.
Okay.
All
Then
right,
I
good.
have nothing further to say on it. I agree with my fellow board members.
Thank you. Council, you good?
Yeah.
Thank you. Next we have the minutes approval of July 18, 2023.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the East Hampton Town Zoning Board of Appeals minutes for July 18th, 2023.
Second.
I'll concur.
I concur. Thank you. We have a couple of resolutions. What's that?
No,
Do we?
just one.
Just
We only have
one.
one?
We did Bauer, didn't
We
we?
did Bauer,
We did.
The end of
Oh,
June.
that's right. We threw that in.
and this is being tabled, and,
That's correct.
okay.
Shemla's
Yeah, Shemla
tabled
was
again?
taken off.
Yes.
So we have resolutions of 221 Panago Road LLC at 219, 221 Panago Road, East Hampton, Suffolk Tax Map number 300-188-1-13.1. And if you remember, this was in my category. This is the application of Carissa's on the highway where they were purchasing the Zwerko building, tearing it down and combining it. The board was unanimous in its approval, right?
No,
No, it wasn't.
Terry did
Terry
not.
Terry
denied
denied the third bedroom.
Third bedroom.
the third bedroom. That's correct. So the board was 4-1 on the bedroom, but approved the remaining of the application. Thank you, Terry. So with that, I'd like to make a motion of 221 Panago Road LLC at 219, 221 Panago Road, East Hampton, Suffolk Tax Map number 300-188-1-13.1 to approve the resolution as written.
I'll second it.
I concur.
And Denise said she saw my part of the denial. so
I did.
will
I read
concur with that.
the
didn't see it yet,
determination,
so,
and it did say
okay.
you dissented on the,
Yes.
the only part of it that
Right.
you dissented on was the bedroom.
Yeah, okay, concur.
Council, regarding the Shore Road one, what's your advice on that?
I think the board should just ratify your approval of the resolution that took place last week, now that you've seen the actual written determination.
Okay, through a motion.
Yes.
Okay. So last week, we approved the resolution of Shore Road as written. It wasn't a unanimous vote. There was a 3-2 approval of the application. So let me see if I can pull that one up. So read the tax map number into the record.
So we dissented on that. I just want to see
Yeah.
that decision.
That one I saw, yeah.
I saw it late afternoon. But I requested it.
All right. So you want me to make the motion or does I have the tax map
Go
number
right
here?
here. I don't have.
So I'll make a motion on 22 Shore Road LLC at Suffolk Tax Map number 300-131-8-7 to ratify the resolution as written.
I second that.
Concur.
I
Ratify.
concur.
Thank you. So that wraps up our meeting for this evening. I'm going to ask the vice chair to make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to close the Town of East Hampton Zoning Board of Appeals public hearing and work session for July 25th, 2023 at 7:23 PM.
I second that.
I concur.
I concur. Thank